A space heater plugged into an extension cord that was run under a bed. That scenario, which fire safety experts say is an absolute no-no, recently caused a fire in Holyoke that displaced 12 people. And the majority of 5 other electrical fires around New Year's in Pittsfield might have also been prevented. Pittsfield Fire Chief Thomas Sammons spoke with me about some fire prevention tips in the studio.
Heating equipment in general are the number one reason for fires this time of the year. And in Pittsfield, we had a rash of them in 5 fires in 9 days that, as we did a little bit of research and came to the conclusions, were all electrical in nature. So they were fires that required us to pull hose lines and go to work. We'd go to a lot of electrical problems on a daily basis. A lot of those are overloaded outlets, power strips, that kind of thing. So it was alarming. So we thought we needed to get the message out.
And thankfully, those fires, no civilians or fire officials were hurt, correct?
Correct.
Great. But since then, you've kind of stepped out and said, look, there are some tips that people could really be served by remembering or being reminded of. I'm going to tick through a few of those. So you mentioned the power strips, and never overload a power strip. Overloading them can have serious problems, as you've seen recently in Pittsfield. But how are those problems caused?
So the people have the power strip, and devices that should be plugged in to a wall, they're using a power strip for. So anything that heats or cools, air conditioners, refrigerators,
heating lamps or plug-in heaters that people might use
space heaters.
Yeah, space heaters.
Should always be plugged directly into a wall and never on an extension cord or into a power strip.
And how does that end up leading to a fire when they're plugged into the power strip as opposed to the wall?
Because it's not heavy gauge, as heavy a gauge wiring. They're not designed for that kind of a load, and those devices require a lot of electricity, and all that electricity will heat up those wires because they're not designed for it, and over time could lead to a fire.
And then plugging an extension cord into a power strip, also a no-no, right?
Always, yeah, never do that. It's the same idea. You're knocking down the amount of required wiring for the what you're running.
Because an extension cord, really, while it might make you plug the gap from A to B, it's temporary. It should be temporary in nature, right?
Yes, it's temporary wiring.
But you've been with the Pittsfield Fire Department more than 20 years. You've been a chief since September of 2019.
Yes.
When you've responded to scenes throughout your career, and you've seen those extension cord used not as temporary wiring as they should be, but more permanent, what are some of the problems you run into? I know you've seen people tacking up extension cords, putting rugs over them.
That's a big thing right there, is when they cover up an extension cord. Because now they're using it as permanent wiring, and it's being insulated where the wiring in your walls is not. So this has a rug over it or has a bunch of combustible items over it, and it doesn't give off the heat and stays cool. So it gains over time. It heats up to the point where it could cause a fire.
Also, we're talking about space heaters. It's the time of year. It's really cold out. You might have a space that just the heat doesn't pump in that room the way that the rest of the house does, and you want to warm it up. So you think space heater, great way to do that. But something that you've pointed out is you really need 3 feet of clearance around that heater. Why?
Because the heat will be far enough away where it won't cause a fire. So anything within 3 feet is what the manufacturer's recommendation is, that so no combustibles will start on fire.
And people might think, well, if I tip over my heat dish, it makes that annoying buzzing noise. I'll know. I'll be okay.
Yeah, don't count on devices. Always keep 3 feet of clearance, and always keep it on a level surface.
And be home when you're using it.
And you know what? When you leave the room, it's got to be turned off, for your safety and your family's.
Yeah. And then how about using a stove as a heating source? What's the challenge or the problem with that?
So if you have a gas stove and a gas oven, and you open up the door to heat up, well, you're introducing carbon monoxide into that room. And eventually you could become overcome, or there you have live fire, coming out of your oven. because you're heating up the space. There's
Might seem like a good idea, but it's really,
It's dangerous.
causing possibly more and more problems, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You mentioned carbon monoxide. That makes me think of carbon monoxide detectors because carbon monoxide is an odorless gas, right? Not only carbon monoxide detectors, but smoke detectors. How common is it that you arrive at a scene and you don't see enough of either of those two things?
a lot of times they're there, but the batteries are, or you can see where the holder is on the ceiling. It's way too common. People really need to make sure that they got working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. A lot of them have sealed batteries now, a 10-year battery, but a lot of them still are out there that don't, and you got to change the batteries, make sure they work. It's for your own good.
Especially this time of year, you might pluck it out thinking, oh, I just need it real quick for this toy or this remote, and I'll put it back, and then you forget. Don't do it, right?
Never.
How many and where should smoke detectors be in a home or in a rental unit?
So it depends. There's a lot of things that come into play here, but a good rule of thumb is on every habitable floor. So, if you've got stuff in your basement, if you have a basement with where you have heating, a furnace or hot water heater, you need a carbon monoxide detector and a smoke detector. On the first floor, same thing, at the base of the stairs, and on the second floor, at the top of the stairs and outside of bedrooms.
So if you're a homeowner, obviously you're going to check that for yourself. But if you're in a rental apartment, you might look around and think and recognize you're short of those. So if you contact your landlord, perhaps, hopefully they'd be responsive. If they're not, what's the next step that a renter should take? Is it calling your department, another fire department?
If you call the inspection bureau of that city or town, they can make sure that gets taken care of through the landlord. The landlord is responsible for having them there, unless it's written in their contract, and then it's your responsibility to keep batteries in them. So, but they should be there when you start renting.
And another tip you had said is that if breakers are continuously tripping, that's something you need to pay attention to. What's that a sign of? Because, sometimes you're blow drying your hair and, you think, it just trips. That's an occasional thing. But if it's constantly happening.
That means that wiring is being overloaded all the time. And it's constantly tripping that mechanical device that could ultimately fail someday. We go to fires all the time where the fuse box, the breaker panel has caught on fire. So.
Rental insurance is something that I know that you've also spoken about. Why is it important? I know a lot of leases even require it, but sometimes tenants don't have it.
Right. So I was a fire inspector, and it was so hard to see somebody lose everything, or even on the fire ground. You see somebody lose everything, and for $25 a month, they could have had everything, replenished. Mm-hmm. It's really, and it's not just a fire. It could be a water hazard or, it's cheap insurance. It really is. Because
the property owner will have insurance by law for their property, but you as the tenant, if you have that rental insurance, it covers the items within your home.
Yeah, your contents, all your contents.